Hi guys, Drwendydearborne here from Food Beyond Its Nutrition, and today guys we are bringing to you plant-based Greek style yogurt. It is delicious.
Okay guys, to make this absolutely delicious yogurt, and it really is delicious guys, as I said to you earlier, it comes in three parts. We're going to make the yogurt, and we're going to incubate the yogurt, and then we're going to strain the yogurt, because I like thick style Greek yogurt, and you can actually get that from plant-based yogurts. That being said, you need a non-dairy milk that has no additives. So you can use almond milk, make your own almond milk. You can make your own coconut milk, but as you know guys, this is one of my favorite brands. This actually just has pretty much coconut and water in it. So you can use coconut milk, you can use almond milk, hazelnut milk. You can use, for the most part, any plant-based milk. Now, I don't know about oat milk. I've never used it. That might be something interesting to see what happens with that, because oat milk's very viscous. But anyway, I'm choosing to use soy milk, and typically I would make my own, but didn't feel like it. So when you actually purchase your soy milk, it's important that all that is in there, all the ingredients listed, says soy and water. Vitally important. You don't want anything else in there. I picked this up by accident. I didn't even realize that, but it's vanilla soy milk, and I won't actually use that to facilitate the process of making my yogurt. So that being said, I have soy milk, soybeans and water, and I have coconut milk. Okay guys, those are the two milks that I'm going to be using. Now, in order for your coconut, in order for your yogurt to become yogurt, you need a starter, or you need something that has good bacteria in it that's going to facilitate the process. Well, I'm using Belly Bella, and that's my choice. It is a, let's see, it's a non-dairy yogurt starter. Okay, so it's vegan and all the other things that people look for, but it's a non-dairy yogurt starter, and I'm choosing to use that. Now it comes in a sachet. Whoops, it comes in a sachet. And because I am making more than a quart, or more than 32 ounces, I'm going to actually use 2 of those sachets. But this is the powder. It's just the white powder. You could actually use probiotics. You could use probiotics. But that being said, some people like to sweeten their yogurt in the incubation period. I actually don't. I will sweeten mine as I go along, as I need it, because I use mine to cook. I use mine to make tandoori. I use mine to make salad dressing. I use mine to do a lot of things, and so I prefer for it to remain unsweetened. So right guys, let's get to it. Right guys, I'm going to use my Instapot. I absolutely love my Instapot. I'm going to take the lid off here so you can see. My Instapot comes with a yogurt function, a yogurt setting. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put my soy milk in. I'm going to pour my soy milk. And that's a quart, 32 ounces. All right, so that's 32 ounces, or 940 mils. Sorry, 946 mils. And I'm also going to put in my coconut milk. It's always important that when you open anything like this, any kind of packaging like this, that you take a good look at the top first to make sure all looks good. All right. Okay. And so that's 32 ounces. Gonna give that a mix. Give that a mix. And then I'm gonna set the function. I'm gonna set the function on mine, although you can't see it very well. Once it has been set, the actual display turns orange and it says heat, and once it comes up to temperature it will beep, and as I said, we will then put in our starter. And I'm actually going to use 2 sachets because I'm using more than 32 ounces of dairy, non-dairy milk, and I found that if I only use 1 sachet and I have more than 32 ounces in there, it doesn't actually culture. Well, it cultures really well, it tastes like yogurt, but it's hard for it to become thick even though I'm straining it. So guys, this takes a bit, so we're going to heat it up and we will be right back. Okay guys, that is the timer telling me that the milk has actually heated up and then cooled down to the correct incubation temperature. So basically what happens is that the milk heats up to about 180 degrees Fahrenheit or 82 degrees Celsius, and then it cools down. And if you're using dairy milk, cow's milk, the same thing applies. It cools down and you let the milk cool down to 108 to 112, and I would opt for the 112 marker, and that's Fahrenheit or 44 Celsius. Now we're going to actually dissolve the starter, okay, the probiotic starter, into the milk. But you don't just drop it in. We're going to take some of the milk out and we're going to put it into a container. All right guys, and as I said, the time is going to keep going. But anyway, I took a cup of the milk out so that I could mix the starter in, so that we could mix it so it was smooth, so most of the lumps are gone. And I'm going to pour that back in. All right, all of it, and give it a quick mix. And one of the things I actually forgot to tell you guys is that I decided to add another 16 ounces, 2 cups of coconut milk to this. So right guys, I'm actually going to put the lid on and we're going to set this to do what it does best. And with that added, I'm now going to allow it to do its incubation. And so I've set the timer and I'm going to set my timer. Okay guys, I have set the incubation time for 10 hours. Okay, now the incubation time is where the magic happens. This is where the bacteria that is actually present in the starter eats up the naturally occurring sugars in the soy and the coconut milk. And the byproduct of them eating up the sugar is you get a really beautiful live cultured yogurt. That's the byproduct. So my incubation period is set for 10 hours at this moment in time. That's the max that my pot can do. My incubation period is going to be closer to 24 hours. I have found that when I am creating a plant-based milk, but the longer the incubation time, the thicker the yogurt. So the less time I incubate for, the thinner the yogurt. And as I said to you in the beginning, or as you saw, I love thick, creamy yogurt. I love thick, creamy yogurt. So guys, that's where we're at this moment in time. So I'm going to do closer to 24 hours. It must probably be somewhere around the 18, 20 marker. So I'll be back basically tomorrow, sometime tomorrow, to show you the next leg of this journey. And the next leg of this journey will literally be to make a Greek style yogurt. And we're going to do that by straining the yogurt once it's made. So until next time, guys, I will see you, well, I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, guys, this is approximately it's approximately 20 hours later, and our yogurt has definitely cultured. Look at that, guys. Okay, guys, this is a yogurt maker. It comes in 3 parts. It has, of course, the lid. Okay, it's got the lid. It has the strainer, and this is a really fine mesh strainer, and it's plastic. You can also get stainless steel, but it's plastic. It's the kind of thing that they use for a nut milk bag, but you got this fine mesh strainer, and of course you got the receptacle that it sits in. And what happens, you will actually be able to see the curds and the whey separate. And what we're after is the curds, and that's what's going to make my nice, thick Greek yogurt. You'll be able to, I'll put a link in the description box below so that you'll be able to see this. You can get this on Amazon. You can get this in some of the cooking shops, you know, Bed Bath and Beyond, that sort of thing. But I'll put a link there so that you can see that. I'm actually using Cuisine. It's a Euro brand, but it's really brilliant. And as I said to you at the beginning of this process, I love thick yogurt. Now you can take the yogurt that we've made. Let me just pull that back into frame. We can take the yogurt that we've made, and you can actually, well, I'd allow this to cool because it's still warm because the timer just went off, but I'd allow it to cool. It will thicken up some, and you can go right ahead on and eat that. But for me, that is too watery. All right, guys, so with a ladle, I'm just going to spoon in the yogurt, and literally it's going to start separating out. The curds and whey will start separating out. Okay, once I've completed all of this, and I'm going to be gentle, once I've completed all of this, I'm going to actually put it into the refrigerator. Cover it, put it in the fridge, and then I'll come back later. Actually, I'll come back tomorrow and show you what it all looks like. Okay, guys, I've completed this now, and so I'm just going to cover it up, and I'm going to put it into the refrigerator, nice cool refrigerator, and allow the curds and whey to separate. What I did do was I actually saved some of the yogurt without being strained, so you can actually see what it looks like, so I can show you a comparison. So until later and or tomorrow, I'll be back. Okay, guys, this, as I was saying to you, is the curds and the whey. This is the whey, this is what's separated out, and we've got a little milky stuff here, which can be normal. Sometimes it's all clear, sometimes it's a little murky like here. And then of course on the inside we have the yogurt. So this is the whey. Now some people will use that to make bread, what have you. I just usually discard it. All right, guys, so that's the curds and whey. Oops, something dropped. All right, guys, so that's the curds and whey. And so now all we're going to do is, using a spoon, we are going to put the yogurt into jars. Okay, so look at how thick that is. And I'm going to show you the one that I didn't put through the sieve or the strainer, because that one's very, very watery. Very, very watery. And this will keep in the fridge for a couple of weeks. This will keep in the refrigerator for a couple of weeks. So I'm just going to go ahead on and fill up the rest of the jars. I actually think I'm going to put one in here, a large jar. This is an 8-ounce mason jar, and these are 7 ounces. These are small, and they're actually yogurt jars. They belong to a system to create yogurt. But guys, I'm going to go ahead on and do that, and once it's all done, I'm going to give it a taste and talk to you a little bit about yogurt. Okay guys, so the yogurt is done. Our whole process with the yogurt is done. So there are a couple of things that I want to share with you. This was the yogurt that I didn't put through the strainer, and as you can see, it's really watery. Yeah, very watery, which is okay if you like yogurt. That actually would make a nice drink. I mean, you could add some mango to it and thicken it up that way. This was the yogurt. As I said to you, I like Greek style yogurt, and this was the one put through the strainer. Okay guys, all right, jars upside down. Yeah, that's how thick it is. I love thick yogurt. My actual yield, I had approximately 58 fluid ounces because I had added another 16 ounces of coconut milk. And so my yield with the soy milk was approximately 58 fluid ounces. And what I got from that, the yield that I got from that was half of that. That was the yield. One of the things I was telling my husband, one of the things that I noticed is when I use more coconut milk, my yield is less. And I believe perhaps because of the fat content, I think anyway, because of the fat content, when I use a higher volume of soy milk, I would have, what's that, 7/7s, I would get maybe about 49 fluid ounces, maybe more. I'd get 3/4 of the yield. It gives a better yield. So that being said, this needs to be refrigerated. Keep it refrigerated. It will last in your refrigerator for a couple of weeks. Now, as I said earlier, I don't actually sweeten mine because I use it to cook with. I use it, you know, to make a tandoori marinade. I use it for salad dressings. So therefore, I sweeten it as I go. So this is my thick Greek style yogurt. I just love it, right? And into this, I'm gonna put a teaspoon. Look like more than a teaspoon to me in it. I'm gonna put a teaspoon. Typically, I would use a teaspoon in the jar. This is 1/3 of a jar, so that's a lot. But I'm gonna put a teaspoon. You can put some vanilla. And what I'll do is later, because I'm out of my fruit, you know, guys, I'm in the COVID world. I'm out of my fruit, and so I'm gonna go get some fruit. And once I've done that, I'm going to show you how I fix my yogurt with fruit. But for right now, I'm just going to use some granola, a little bit of granola. Yeah, and that is it. So guys, I hope that you've enjoyed this. Somebody actually asked me about this the other day. I was talking about plant-based yogurt, and somebody asked me about this. So I really hope, guys, that you have enjoyed this process. You can do this without actually an Instapot. You'd still have to heat everything up on the stove and get it to the temperature of, what was it, 112 degrees. You heat it up, get it to 112 degrees, allow it to cool down so that you can incubate, and your incubation process actually is 112 degrees. Put your yogurt starter in, cover it up, and then allow it to incubate for anywhere from 6 to 24 hours. The choice is yours. The longer you allow it to incubate is the tangier it becomes. Make sure that your jars are sterilized. The jars need to be washed with hot or in hot soapy water, a nice hot rinse, and then either boiled in water for 10 minutes and or sanitized in your dishwasher. I'll use my dishwasher as it has a sanitization function. You can also use your oven, and you can put your jars in the oven at the lowest temperature that you got, which most ovens, they're about 170, and you can leave it in there for about half an hour. Be very careful when you're removing your jars from hot water and or the oven. Make sure you use the correct precautions so you don't burn yourself. But guys, this is it. What I will do is I'm gonna taste this, but what I will do, I tasted it already, it tastes really good. I'll come back and I'll show you different ways that I actually utilize this yogurt. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed this. I'm Dr. Wendy Dearborne. Bon appetit. Come on, let's eat.
What you see here is a fresh strawberry and granola parfait. And guys, that is so easy to do. You have a layer of yogurt, and then you have a layer of granola, and it can be as much as you want or as little as you want. Then you have more strawberries, and the strawberries here have been sliced. Another layer of yogurt, another layer of granola, another layer of yogurt, and you wind up with fruit and a sprig of mint. Bon appetit, guys. Let's eat. Enjoy.